In this video, I'm going to discuss if it's still possible to make anywhere between $10,000 to $15,000 per month with residential assisted living net. That was a video I did back in 2018. It was one of my first 10 videos that I did on this channel. So I'm going to discuss this topic again because that was back in 2018. We're now in 2022. So if you're interested, make sure to stick around. What's going on, everyone? I hope you're all doing well. If you're new here, my name is Serg. Welcome to the channel. To all the reoccurring viewers, thank you so much for all the love and support that each and every single one of you have shown me. And if you have not yet, make sure to go check out the God Made podcast on all streaming platforms. Feel free to check out Legion Assisted Living Academy, where I teach residential assisted living and how to start one from A to Z, and that link will be down below. Also, if you want to schedule a one-on-one consultation call with myself, it is $150 per 30 minutes, so half hour, and you can ask me any questions that you have in mind and talk about where you're at and what you're wanting to know. And also, if you want to passively invest with us, or you're an operator looking to expand, or you have a care home you're looking to sell, feel free to check out valleyalfventures.com. That will also be down below. Just simply choose which category you fall in and fill out the questionnaire. And from there, we will reach out to you. And so without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the topic of this video. Now, a lot of people have been coming across this industry simply because of the fact that you can take a single family home in a regular residential neighborhood and actually start turning that into a cash flowing, generating property. And that is what a lot of people are looking to do now. And the thing is, though, is it's very important about the different things that you look at when it comes to starting one of these facilities. And a lot of families have also realized that these big box facilities are really not the best in case something like what we had with the good old Rona, and not being able to contain that. But whereas these small facilities, people have been able to contain it a lot better. A lot of operators were able to handle it a lot better. And so a lot of families are looking to transition their loved ones to these types of care homes, right? These residential settings, and it feels more like home. And that's always been something that was preached in this industry, and what actually got a lot of families enticed and wanted for them to move their loved ones into these types of care homes. So with that being said, a lot of people realize that this could be a great generating property, income generating property. And because of that, this has become a lot more popular. But is it still possible in 2022, due to the cost of inflation, due to the cost of everything going up? Is it still possible to do this? Yes, because in order to continue to generate 10 to 15,000 per property with these types of homes, you have to also factor in increasing rates. And that's what you have to do when there's inflation and there's things going up in price. You also have to increase your bed rates. And families have to understand this, and they are understanding this. So what I've noticed in this industry a lot is there are certain people who are afraid of increasing those rates. They're afraid if they do that, families will move their loved ones from their facility. But that's not the case, because when you actually provide proper care and you stay in direct communication with the families, you always keep them posted with what's going on with their loved one, whether that's you as the manager or you have a manager on staff that does that. Families really love that. They really love that one-on-one, being able to have that direct line of communication and always being updated. Whereas these big box facilities probably update them maybe once a month, or if there's an emergency. So families, if you're able to properly take care of them, regardless of the cost, they are willing to pay more as long as the care is there, as long as they feel involved, as long as there's not a lot of restrictions on them, and not allowing them to see their loved ones. A lot of these big box facilities had no choice but to put all these different restrictions on visiting policies. And so that even got more families to look into this space as well and look into these homes to move their loved ones. And yes, I think right now, even though there's a lot going on, the cost of housing is going up, the cost of groceries, everything is going up. So are the increased rates of healthcare, especially assisted living. Now the average rate is probably sitting around $4,200, $4,300 per private bed. Semi-private, somewhere probably around $3,000, $3,200. And because of that, a lot of families have no choice but to move their loved ones in. And so they're willing to pay that. And it's still honestly half of the cost of the big box facilities. The cost of the big box facilities is anywhere between $5,000 to $9,000. So in some cases, it's actually cheaper, in most cases, it's actually cheaper to place a loved one into a care home versus a big box facility. And so families have also realized that. So they're willing to pay these rates, but you also need to know what your worth is. A lot of these care homes, like I said, they're afraid to increase those rates. And because of that, it's because they don't know what their worth is. They're willing to still stay at the rates that they were charging 2, 3 years ago. But in order to be a successful business owner, you also have to factor in these costs. And so for me, I've also had to increase a lot of my bed rates. And that's just part of it. That's part of running a business. And so, yes, it is still possible to make $10,000 to $15,000 per month per 10-bed facility. Keep in mind, the key word is 10 beds. Now, if you have less than 10 beds, you're probably making anywhere, let's say if you have a 5 to 9 bed facility, you're probably making anywhere between $5,000 to $8,000 per month. Net. This is net. This is after expenses, things have been paid, and that is what you're taking home every month per location that you have, which in most cases, for some people, they can live off of that. They can easily do that. And that's something that a lot of people have started to realize. A lot of nurses, doctors, people who have these higher paying jobs that are in the healthcare field, even directors of nursing facilities and administrators, they're looking to possibly get into this. And if that's you, feel free to schedule a call with me. I would love to be able to discuss and answer any additional questions you may have. And also feel free to check out Legion Assisted Living Academy down below. But yes, I think now more than ever is the time to get into this business because of the fact that the demand is still increasing and the housing is actually for senior housing or health care specifically is very, very limited. And that's the care is only going to increase. The demand is only going to increase. So, if people are worried about a place being too, a certain zip code or a certain city being too saturated, that may be the case. But as of right now, I think a lot of families are realizing that moving their loved one into a care home is way better for them in the long term. And so regardless of how saturated a zip code may be, if you see that a lot of those homes, if you call around and you just ask for vacancy rates and just see what they're at, if they're above 80%, you're most likely in a great area because there's plenty of demand in that area. But if you're calling around and they're all sitting less than like 75%, then you may want to consider not really starting anything in that zip code, even less if they're sitting less than 60%. So you just have to factor in and do a lot more due diligence within the zip code that you're in to see if there's truly demand there. But what I'm seeing and the different properties that we're purchasing it with existing businesses in them, they're doing very well. And I kind of always knew this, but it just confirmed what I already knew. And it's really great to see that there's still so much demand out there. And again, they're getting the rates that they want. And keep in mind, it may vary from state to state and location to location. Obviously, here in Phoenix, this is a hot area to start this. Texas is also a really great area. Florida, these warmer climates are really great areas. Other climates where there's not a lot of retirees and a lot of people who are going there to retire, those areas may suffer a little more or not have the occupancy rates that you would need them to be at to make sense for you. So you have to kind of factor that in. And if there's areas where there's a lot more regulations and there's a lot more things going on in that area, you have to factor that in as well. But yes, we are, a lot of these homes are producing that are 10 beds and plus are producing 10 to 15,000 net income per month per location, which is amazing to think about and to also see. So not a lot has really changed in the sense of, are they still making that kind of income now? Yes, they are, if not more. But because of inflation and things, it's still roughly about 10 to 15,000 in income per month. But again, if you have more additional questions, feel free to schedule a call down below. Feel free to also sign up for Legion Assisted Living Academy if you're looking to start one of these homes for yourself. And also, if you just want to passively invest, or you're an operator who wants to expand, let me know. You guys can do that through valleyalfventures.com, or just shoot me an email as well. And with that being said, thank you so much for the support that all of you have been showing this channel. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe button, and I will talk to you all in the next video. God bless.